you are welcome to the class. So last week in the last class, we spoke about information system, isn't it? Information technology and the rest. And we did little things about information technology. So this time we shall be focusing on chapter 16, networks and communications. So let us start. Now, when you say computer network, okay? Now, according to the material here, we say a computer network is a communications infrastructure that allows computers to exchange data or talk with each other. Now, computers were actually built to be independent, okay? Like they work on their own. Now, due to the fact that we need to communicate with one another, now we started like, okay, let's look for a way that even our computers can talk to one another. We can link them together, we can send information. One computer will send information, the other will receive the information, and it will go either ways. Okay? Now, what makes this possible is what we call network, computer network. A situation whereby two or more computers are connected together in order for them to what? To communicate, to talk to one another. Now, we said the physical connection that exists between networked computers can either use physical media such as fiber optics or copper wire cables or wireless media. What we say in essence is that there are two kinds of connection. You talk about the physical connection and you talk about the logical connection. Okay? Are you with me? Now, when you say the physical connection means the one you can, let me put it this way, in a layman's way, that the one you can actually see and feel. Am I making sense? Now, this comes in different ways. It could be by the use of the cable, okay? It could be by the use of fiber optics. I know most of us might be like, what is fiber optics? And it could be by the use of wireless, okay? Whereby you see wireless connection, you see WAN, you see Wi-Fi, okay? Those are wireless connection. Now I'll still go deeper into that. Now we said computer networks support a vast range of uses, like the World Wide Web. Now most of us believe when we say network, computer network, the only thing is just the internet. Most of us, we think the only thing that happens on a computer network is all about internet. No. Now, the internet itself is like a service provided inside computer network. Okay? The internet is not, okay, you can say two computers might be connected and they might not be on the internet. Am I making sense? Look at this scenario. Computers might be connected and will not be on the internet. But computers cannot be on the internet without being connected. You can see the two things. A computer might be connected and will not be on the internet. But a computer cannot be on the internet without being connected. So it means the internet itself is like a service provided in a computer network. Am I making sense? Now, we said sharing software. Now, another service is that another use of the network is sharing software applications such as database and worksheets. Okay? Another one is email. Then we have sharing devices such as printer, fax, machine, and scanner. Online booking system, instant messaging, internet-based communication such as Skype. Now, we said physical connection. Have you been to a cyber cafe of recent and if you are the curious kind of person, you will see that each computer in a cyber cafe like this. If you have a computer here, this is your computer, this is another person's computer, and this is another computer. Now you notice you are sitting here, you are sitting here. Let's say this is computer A, B, C. Now you are able to browse on this, Abby. You and your friends, maybe you are browsing here, your friend there, your sister here. Now, if you are the curious type, you will notice that there is a cable that comes from this particular computer and it runs to somewhere. There's another cable that comes that runs somewhere. There's another cable that comes that runs somewhere. Now, these are the network cables. Am I making sense? Yeah. These cables move from these computers and are connected to other computers. Or let me put it this way. These cables are connected to other network devices. It could be what we call a switch. It could be a switch. It could be a hub. And it could even be a router. But most of them are connected. Now, if it is connected to a switch, it means this particular switch will be connected to a server. Now, let me now draw it in a way that you understand. Let's see. Look at this. Now, let me use one topology, one network topology to explain. Look at this. This is a computer A. This is computer B. This is computer C. And this is computer D. Now, in the middle, there is computer, let me call it AA. Now, this particular system is connected to AA. This is connected to AA. This is connected to AA. And this is connected to AA. Now, all these ones you are seeing are called client computers. Okay? They are clients. And this one is called your server. Am I making sense? Now, looking at it as it is now, your server is actually the one providing resources for these ones to use. Now, this is actually the main purpose of network. Now, looking at it is your server that is connected directly. Let me represent the internet as a cloud. It is your server that is connected directly to the internet. Let's say this is internet. Are you there? Now, it is your server that is connected to the internet. All other client computers are not connected. Now, they are now sharing the internet resources from the server. That is why most of us will be like, when a particular system slows down, you'll be like, can you please reboot the server? I know you must have heard people say that in cyber cafes. Oh, what's wrong with your server? Okay? It is the server that determines what happens with this. Because all they are doing is, they don't have this facility on their own. They are getting it from the server. Okay? So that's how network. I hope I've been able to explain a little bit. Now, they share resources. Now, have you ever noticed that when you send, let me take this as a printer. When you send a job, let's say you want to print your JAM form. A sends his or her print out. B, C, D. You will notice everybody that sends print out on his or her own computer, they will all receive their printout on one single printer. Okay, that's what we talk about, that they share devices. Now, this device, printer, is connected directly to the server, not to this. Because it is connected to the server, these people, they have the access to whatever is connected to the server. Even if a scanner is connected, you have a scanner connected to your server. When you scan anything here, you can send to all these people because they share the resources. So that is how the network works. Now, there's what we call system architecture. Now, the term system architecture refers to the way in which the components of a computer system, such as printer, PCs, and storage devices are linked together and how they interact. How these things, how they are linked together and how they interact with one another is what we call the system architecture. Am I making sense? So that's it. Now, you said a centralized architecture involves all processing being performed on a single central computer. All processing being performed on a single central computer. Now, what we are saying here is, let's assume this is our central computer. Now, we are talking about a central processing now. It means everything processing now. Hello? Processing. So these ones might not be used for processing. They can only be used for what? Data capturing. Am I making sense? You can only use these ones for data capturing. You can only use them to, let's say, output results. Are we making sense? Now, the central computer will be the one that is what? Performing all processing. Maybe at the end of the day, terminal A, terminal B, C, and D. After collecting all the data, it will be sent to the central processing computer, which processes the job at one time. That is a centralized what? A centralized what? Architecture. Are we making sense now? Do we understand now? Now, when we talk about the decentralized is an opposite of centralized. It means instead of this man being the alpha and omega of processing, now you are giving autonomy, power to every other computer in this network to process, to have their own processing capability. Which means if you have your data, process it. You have your data process, you have your data process. This can only be okay. Let us have a central computer for database storage. Every process is done here, the output will be stored here. This one can also process its own data. So you have actually decentralized your processing. Now, there are advantages and disadvantages of centralized and decentralized. Now, here we said decentralized architectures spread the processing power throughout the organization at several different locations. Are we there? This is typical to the modern workplace, given the significant processing power of modern PC. Gone are those days where, because computers are very expensive and they are very large, you only have one big room where a big computer will be stored. Then you now have what we call terminals. Terminals do not have processing power. They only have keyboard, screen, and mouse. Okay? Then they have a small kind of a connector to connect all those peripherals to the main computer. So if you are in sales department, when you are inputting things, when you are inputting records or anything, it goes directly to the central computer. Are we making sense? Because our computers, all of them now, they have big or larger processing power. So it is easy to do decentralization. Like this, a laptop can still process its own data. Then at the end of the day, you can then send the result to your central server. Now, typical network configuration includes star. Now, when we say network configuration, ordinarily we call it network topology. Now, when we say network configuration, okay, another term for it, we call it what? Topology. Network topology. Are we there?
Yes.
Now, when we say network topology, we are saying the arrangement of how the computers or communication devices in a network are connected, how they interact with what? With one another. Now, we have types. Although in the material we are not meant, there are no much explanation about them, but I'll just mention them quickly, then we move forward. Now, we have the star topology.
Network topology.
I said we define it actually. You know, I said how the network devices in a network are connected. Okay. Now, sometimes when you look at it physically, you might not understand the kind of topology it is. Am I making sense? You might not know until you dive into the network itself. You will now be able to understand, oh, this is the kind of topology that is used. Now we have star topology, and this is how star looks like. I just explained star topology. This is star topology. You can see there is a server in the middle. All these ones are getting their what? Their connection from one computer. Are we making sense? Now there is another one we call the ring. The ring topology. Are we there? Now, this is how the ring looks like. You have something like this. Now, this is why we call it the ring topology, because it looks like a ring. Now, how do you know it's a ring topology? It's because let me now. You have a computer here. You have a computer here. You have another computer here. And you have another computer here. You now notice that one end of the computer is connected to another computer. The other end of the computer is connected to another computer. So it means the computer, each computer or each device on the network is connected both ways, by the right and by the left. That's the ring topology. Now you are having something like this, something like this, something like this, something like this. And the advantage of ring topology is, let's assume A, B, C, and D. If A wants to talk to D on this network, how many ways can A go? If A wants to talk to D on this network, A can go through B to talk to D. And if B, let's say there is a damage here, it means A can still find his way to D. So that's the good thing about ring topology. Unlike the star topology, if something happens to this one, then this particular computer is out of the network. Are we making sense? So that is and we have other ones like bus, BUS. A bus topology uses what we call a bus, BUS. It's like a cable like this. Let me just draw it in a layman's way. It's like a big cable, then you have small cable coming out of it. Now each computer is now connected to that. Okay, so this is what we call the bus. This particular one is what we call the bus. Okay, and another kind of network is what we call the tree network. The tree. Okay, it looks like a tree. It has different branches, okay, like a tree network, okay. So those are the kinds of topology. If you are asked about network topology. Now I'm going into client-server computing. Client-server computing. Now, client-server computing describes one level of interaction found within computers in system architecture. Now, what is a server? I have actually defined a server, but I'll just read through. A server is a machine that is dedicated to providing a particular function or service required by a client within a network system. You remember I told you, I showed you a diagram that a server provides network access to the client system. So it is a client-server relationship. Okay. Now, servers can range in power from top-end super server capable of driving thousands of network users to low-end servers which are typically a powerful personal PC. Different types of server might include file servers. Now we are now mentioning types of servers. We have file servers, we have network servers, we have print servers, we have email servers, and fax servers. We still have ranges of types of servers. Okay, those are just few to be mentioned. Now, what is a file server? A file server is used to manage the data files that are accessible to user on the network. All the shared data files for the system are held on a file server or are accessible through a file server. What we are saying here is when you are downloading anything from the internet, you know, most of us, we do a lot of downloads. We go on the internet, we search for songs, we download them, we search for videos and so on. Those things you are downloading are stored on a file server. And you have access to those things you want to download via a file server. Am I making sense? So, that is. Now, another one is what we call the network server. The network servers are used to route messages from terminals and other equipment in the network to other parts of the network. In other words, network servers manage and control the routing of messages within computer network. When I say routing, most of us be like, what is routing? Now look at it. Okay, before I start, if you really want to understand what happens in the network environment, I want you to always look at it, because if you are not careful, you'll get lost. You'll be like, what am I saying? What am I doing? Okay, you might not really understand. But I want you to look at computer network interaction as the normal human to human interaction. Always look at it like that. The way computers communicate mimics the normal human to human communication. Am I making sense? Because we are still going to get to a place I will explain little things to you, like handshake. Do you know that if two computers were to talk to each other, they need to agree and they need to do what is called handshake before they can send some files. So if I walk into your office and I'm coming in for a contract, at the end of the contract, after we agree, what do we do to seal the agreement? We shake each other. Okay, but if I'm throwing my hands at you to shake and you are like this, it means we are not in what? Agreement. Then the contract cannot go forward. Okay, now network server, when you say route, it means path. It sends the messages on the network to the right path. When I say path, I'm not saying P-A-R-T. I'm saying P-A-T-H, the right path. Okay? Now, the Americans call it what? The Americans call it root. And it's still the same pronunciation. The Americans call this router. Okay? But the British call it router. But here we speak British English. Okay? So someone might tell you, okay, which route are you taking if you are driving? Someone might tell you, which route are you taking? It means which path are you following? So that's what network servers do. They route the messages from its from its originating source to its right destination. Okay, there are other things that happens in the network service, but we'll still go there later. Now let us talk about types of network. Types of network. Now we are going to be talking about the LAN, the WAN, the MAN, and so on and so forth. But these are the three major types of network. Now I've had one thing, I've had PAN. Okay, now we said LAN. LAN means local area network. Okay, now a LAN is a computer network covering a small geographic area such as a home, office, group of buildings or school. A LAN's distinguished features include: 1. Due to its localized nature, the data transfer speed is high. Now before I move to that, now when you say LAN, you are talking about a connection within a small geographical area, from one room to another, from one building to another, and so on and so forth. Okay, now we are now saying due to its localized nature, we say the data transfer speed of LAN is high. Am I making sense? The data transfer speed, as in the rate or the speed at which LAN transfers data, is very high because it is localized. Now, they said it is typically owned, controlled and managed by one person or single organization. I can have my own LAN network. You can have your own LAN network. Okay? Another thing is that it has low cost of maintenance. Then it's relatively low data transmission error. There is less error while transmitting data on LAN. Now, one LAN can be connected to another LAN over any distance via telephone lines and radio waves. Okay, I know you should remember back then, you see, if you want to dial, most of us back then we use some kind of telephone to dial into the network. Okay, but I will soon move to that. We'll still talk about that. So just know that LAN is a localized network. Now, LAN can come in two forms. It could be a wired LAN, wired, or what? Or unwired. Now, when it comes to the wired LAN, we are talking about the use of, let me just mention like 2 cables or 3 cables, like what we call our twisted pair cable. Have you seen it before? I'll describe it. Now, there's another one called the coaxial cable. Okay? Another kind of cable is our what? But basically, these two are mostly used for what? For LAN connection. Now, let me just put our LAN. Let me limit our LAN today. Now, when it comes to the wire, the unwired, that's where you have the what? The wireless local area network. That's why you will see it as it is always like WLAN. Okay, this is the wireless LAN. Then that's where you talk about your Wi-Fi, your local Wi-Fi. Okay, am I making sense? Now, a twisted pair cable, when you go to a cyber cafe, a twisted pair cable is like a cable like this. Now, inside the cable are small cables, smaller cables. Okay, those smaller cables are twisted to one another. Okay, they are twisted to one another. Now, twisted cable, twisted pair cable, because they are twisted in two. That's why it is like twisted pair. Okay, they are twisted in two. Okay, we have 8 cables here. Now, cable A and cable B are twisted. This and this are twisted. This and this are twisted. But after that twist, they are also still twisted among one another. Am I making sense? Now, the higher the tension, let's say the higher the twist, okay, the faster or the graded the cable is. That's why twisted pair cables are categorized into different categories based on how much twist you have within the cables. We have category A, category B, category C. So you have like, or more basically what we do is let me categorize them as cat 1. We call it cat 1. You have cat 1, cat 2, up to cat 6. Okay, category 1 to category 6. Okay, so it means if you want the one that can send up to like 1 gigabit per second now of data, you might be going for either category 5 or category 6. Am I making sense? So the higher the twist, the higher the category. Okay, this is the latest now. So if you want to go to the market to buy a network cable, you go like, okay, I want to buy a twisted pair cable. The first thing they ask you is what category. Okay, now the twisted pair cable is now connected to a connector. Let me see if I can draw the connector. But you can Google it. The name of the connector, now it has mouth like this. Now the twisted cable is now connected to this connector. Okay, now it is this connector that you will connect to the network interface of your computer. I hope you have seen a network interface before. Okay, I will show you that. Now that when you go to a cyber cafe, you go with your laptop, they will give you a cable, they will connect it to a particular port on your laptop. That port is your network interface port or network interface card. We call it NIC, network interface card. Now, the name of this particular connector is called RJ what? RJ45. That's the name of this connector. Okay. Now, sometimes you see some engineer, they'll be like, I want to crimp. So the act of attaching a twisted pair cable to the RJ45 is what we call crimping. Okay, it follows a logic because there are 3 kinds of cable you can create for network. Okay, so we talk about that one is out of your scope. So let us move ahead. Now, when you talk about coaxial cable, let me give you an example of a coaxial cable. Have you ever seen a cable used for all this paid TV? I don't want to mention names. Like, okay, if you have an antenna at home, you have an antenna. You've seen that cable that runs from your antenna to your television. You see how it looks. You will see a black, an outer layer black. Now, inside this black, there is a kind of net. Are you there? There is a kind of net. Or let me say, outside this one, you will see something like a net. Okay? That one is like, it looks like a net like this. So this is another cable. Okay? Now, separating this particular net from the other one, you will see something like a white foam. Okay? Now, inside the white foam, you now see a thick wire. Okay? You will see a what? A thick wire. This is a coaxial cable. That's an example of a coaxial cable. Okay? Like, okay, if you get home, you can just check it. You can check the back of your TV, remove it. Or if you want to know it better, just remove your DSTV cable. Okay, you will see that this particular wire is actually inserted to a kind of connector that has ring like this. It will be inserted to that ring. Then you now use it to screw to the DSTV decoder. Okay, so that's how it works. Now, and so on and so forth. Now, another type of network is what we call the WAN, which is the what? The wide area network. The wide area network. Wide area network. But before I go to the wide area network, I would like to talk about MAN, which is the metropolitan area network. Now, the metropolitan area network is actually a network that is within, let me say, a small city, okay? It is not that big, but it is bigger than your what? Than your land, okay? Now, most people, because of this name, they feel like metropolitan. Metropolitan is bigger than wide area network. No. I used to make such mistakes. I'll be like, because of that name, you know, that name sounds so big. Metropolitan. You'll be like, oh, metropolitan is wider. No. Metropolitan is next to local area network. Okay? It spans through a local government or a campus. Sometimes we still have campus area network. Do you know that? We have campus area network too. So metropolitan is up within, let me put it this way, within a city or within a local government. Now, when we now talk about wide area network spans through continents. Is the largest kind of network. Are we making sense? Wide area network. Here we say that a WAN, which is wide area network, is a computer network that covers a broad area, that is network that communicates across regional, metropolitan, or national boundaries over a long distance. A WAN distributing features include data transfer speed are much lower than LAN. Now, because a WAN covers a vast range of geographic locations, the transfer speed is slower or is smaller when it comes to WAN. But when you compare it to LAN, LAN is what? Faster. Now, WAN exists under collective or distributed ownership and management covering long distance. What we are saying is, one person cannot own a WAN. You will tap from this one, tap from this one, tap from this one. It is like how do I call it? Everybody, we are trying to be in agreement for you to get a WAN. Are we making sense? Now, setup costs are typically high due to the need to connect to remote areas. It's always very high because in a WAN combines everything that is in LAN. WAN combines everything that is in MAN. Inside the WAN, you have wired network. Inside the WAN, a wired network is connected to wireless network, connected to fiber optics network. They all come together to form a what? A WAN. Okay? Like when you say PAN, PAN means personal now according to his name, it's meant to be what? Personal. Mostly a PAN connection is mostly between just two people, but it is personal. Now an example of a personal area network is your kind of connection where you connect using your Bluetooth. Let me put it that way. That's how it is. Now you notice when I'm sending picture to you, I can't send to her. Do you know that? Using a Bluetooth. If I'm sending picture to you, I will be done with you before I can move to the next person. Then I will have to what? Disconnect you, then move to the other person, connect to the other person. That's how a PAN is. And a personal area network has its own limits. Okay, you can only move a particular distance from each other. Have you ever noticed that? Even when you are sending anything on a Bluetooth phone to a Bluetooth phone, you notice when you move beyond that range, the networks break what? It breaks. So that's what happens. So let's talk about protocols. So in computing, a protocol is a convention or standard that controls or enables the connection, communication, and data transfer between computing endpoints. In its simplest form, a protocol can be defined as the rules governing communications over a network. Protocols may be implemented by hardware, software, or a combination of the two. At the lowest level, a protocol defines the behavior of a hardware connection. Now, when you say protocol, just look at protocol as the norms and the ways by which computers on a network must conform to before they can what? Communicate. Are we making sense? Now look at it. They said if there are no rules, then there are no sins. Okay? Let's assume computers can just connect to one another anyhow, without a guideline, without a protocol. It means I can have access to your computer anytime I want. It means when you on your Bluetooth to listen to song, maybe via your Bluetooth device, I can just on my own Bluetooth anytime. I just connect to your own phone and download whatever I want to download. Are we making sense? Now, there are guidelines, there are norms that guide devices that are connected in a network, and this is what we call protocols. These are rules, okay, set to guide how computers talk to one another. Are we making sense? Now, the theoretical properties of protocol. While protocols can vary greatly in purpose and sophistication, most specify one or more of the following properties. 1. Detection of the underlying physical connection, which is wired or wireless, or the existence of the other endpoint. What we say, okay, a particular protocol might be like, my own job is to detect if there is a connection. Are we making sense? I will detect if there is what? A connection. If there is either a wire connection or if there is a wireless connection. Now, another one is how to start and end a message. Now, when you say protocol, let me give you an example. When you walk into someone's office, different offices have their own different kind of protocol. A particular office might say the first thing you need to do to see the manager is for you to do what? To see the secretary. Just see the secretary and talk to the secretary. Hello secretary, I want to see the manager. Hey, the manager is available, just go in. Now, some companies will be like, even before you enter the gate, you must sign a what? A list, a visitor's form. You sign, time in, signature. When you are going out, there is time out, signature. Now, after leaving the gate, you will meet the secretary. You will still sign another visitor's what? Form. Now, you ask, I'm looking for the manager. The fact that you signed the visitor's form doesn't mean you will see the manager. Maybe there is a rule. Oh, once the manager is on seat, or if someone else is with the manager, no other person should come in. Okay? So that's how it is. You must follow a what? A protocol. So sometimes some protocol will be like, okay, how do we start sending our message? Do you know all these things happens within? Let me bring it to the lowest things we use, the things that we don't even care about. Our phones. Let's bring it to that level. If you are sending a picture from your phone to another phone, do you know there is always an agreement like that? Okay, I want to send you a picture. Then the first thing we agree is there a connection between us? Okay, there is a connection, we agree. The second thing is, how do we send this picture? Okay, how do you know that I am sending the picture? Okay, after sending the picture, what sign will you give me to tell me that you are done sending the picture? They have the agreement. They will not agree to it. That's another rule. Another thing is that how to format a message. Between them, they will still say, okay, this is the way we will both format the message. Another one is that what to do with corrupted or improperly formatted message. That's error correction. Okay, now if I'm sending the picture, okay, maybe mistakenly I am sending a picture, mistakenly calls came in. Okay, then let's say the picture size is 300 MB and it was around 160 MB when the call came in, and as a private person you quickly stood up and ran outside to receive your call. Okay, now the two phones must have agreed. In such an instance, what do we do to an incomplete message or a corrupted message? Okay, they both agree. Am I making sense? Now, another thing is that how to detect unexpected loss of connection and what to do. Do you understand? That time that you ran out, there is a what? Disconnection. Okay, if you notice disconnection, what do we do when there is disconnection? The two phones agree. Another thing is that termination of the session or connection. Okay, we are done sending. How do we both terminate our connection? Those are the things that the two devices will agree on before what? Before they start talking to each other. That's how protocol works. Are we on the right track now? Now, what are the importance of protocols? The protocols in human communication are separate rules about appearance, speaking, listening, and understanding. All these rules, also called protocols of conversation, represent different layers of communication. Now, they work together to help people successfully what? Communicate. Okay, in a society, you'll be like, oh, there is a norm. Okay, the way we do here in Nigeria is different from the way they do in Dubai. In Dubai, you hear, oh, ladies, even men are not supposed to wear clothes that shows their shoulder. Okay, if someone wakes up in the morning, some people would kneel down or the other way to greet their parents. Some people will do handshake with their parents, and that doesn't mean they are not respectful, but it is the culture, the way of life of the people. That's why I say, when you want to understand network, computer network, always look at it in form of human relationship, how we interact. Okay, am I making sense? Now, the need for protocols also applies to network devices. Computers have no way of learning protocols. So, network engineers have written rules for communication that must be strictly followed for successful computer-to-computer communication. These rules apply to different layers of sophistication, such as which physical connection to use, how computers listen, how to interrupt, how to say goodbye, and in short, how to communicate, what language to use, and many others. These rules or protocols that work together to ensure successful communication are grouped into what is known as the protocol suite. Now, we are not saying all these rules, as they work together to enable successful communication. They are now grouped together in what we call protocol suite. Now let's talk about the protocol suite. Now in the protocol suite, we have the IP, we have the UDP, we have the TCP, we have the HTTP, we have the FTP, we have the SOAP, the normal bar soap we use. Don't take me for that. We have the IMAP, we have the SMTP, and we have the POP3. Now, I'll just explain them on a surface kind of level, okay? Because I'm not going to dive deep into them because it will be beyond your scope, okay? Now, let's talk about the IP. The IP means Internet Protocol. Now, the IP is a protocol used for communicating data across a packet-switched internetwork using the Internet Protocol Suite, also referred to as the TCP IP. IP is the primary protocol in the Internet layer of the Internet Protocol Suite and has the task of delivering distinguished protocol datagrams, which are packets, from the source host to the destination host, solely based on their addresses. Let me just put it down in a layman form. When we say IP address, IP, Internet Protocol, is actually being used to send, let me say, your message, your packets of message from the source to the destination. Are we making sense? That's what we use the word Internet Protocol to do. Now, the IP has what is called an IP address. An example of an IP address is something like this: 192.168.10.1. Okay? Look at this. When you have three networks, four computers on the network. Four computers on the network. Now, this is a LAN. This is a LAN topology type of network. This is a LAN and it's a star topology. Now, look at this. If this is our server. Let's assume this one has an IP address of 192.168.10.1. Okay. Now, this one will have an IP address of 192.168.10.2. This one will be 192.168.10.3. 192.168.10.4. These are IP addresses. And this one will be 192.168.10.5. Now, if this man is to send a message to .5, okay? Now, if this man is sending a message, because it is a network, okay, we can see one another on the network. Now, if I'm saying hello, now there are two kinds of hello. Or let me put it this way. I want us to look at how computers send message. We have what we call a unicast. We have what we call a broadcast. Am I making sense? Now, when you say a broadcast means everybody in the network receives this message. Am I making sense? Now, when I'm saying hello, I want to send this particular message to this man. Now, when I say hello, now let me put it in a description form. Now, this particular server will wrap this message with the address of the destination. Oh, it is going to 192.168.10.5. Now, immediately this message enters into the network. Everybody, because of this address that's there, everybody knows where it is going to. Now it is the job of the internet protocol to what? To take it to his what? To his destination. That's how it works. Are we making sense? Now, there's one called the UDP. The UDP, which is called the User Datagram Protocol. User Datagram Protocol. Now, I will still. Now, this particular one is actually the IP is actually what we call the TCP IP suite. Okay. Transaction Control Protocol / IP Internet Protocol suite. Now, the user datagram is one of the core members of the Internet Protocol suite, the set of network protocols used for the word Internet. With UDP, computer applications can send messages. With UDP, computer applications can send messages. In the case referred to as datagrams to other computers on an IP Internet Protocol network without requiring prior communication to set up special transmission channel or data path. UDP is sometimes called Universal Datagram Protocol. I will explain. Look at this. This particular IP, TCP IP, Internet Protocol. Okay? It is like a strict protocol. Hello? It's very strict. Why? I call this particular protocol, I call it connection full protocol. I'll tell you why. Now I will be calling UDP, I'll call it connectionless protocol. I'll tell you why. Now, inside IP, TCP IP, data will not send, messages will never send if this protocol does not notice there is actual connection. The first thing this protocol looks for is there connection, because it is very strict that it wants to maintain connection all through. It is, let me put it this way, it's a kind of proud protocol that, oh, I am proud. If I am sending a 1 gigabyte picture, you must get a 1 gigabyte picture. Am I making sense? If I am sending a 500 gigabyte data, you must get the accurate 500 gigabyte data message. Am I making sense? Now, because of that, IP will always make sure there is connection before what? Sending. Which means, let's assume you have a 1 gigabyte of picture that you want to send. Now, have you ever noticed, let me put it this way, sometimes you send pictures, songs from one phone to the other. You will notice there is a progress bar. Have you? 1%, 2%, 3%. Now, as those things, what they do is, for each time, let's say the 1 gigabyte, it's not that the 1 gigabyte is sent at once. It's too large. It is divided into segments, into packets of messages. Okay? That will, from the sender to the receiver. Now, there is an IP, TCP, IP connection between them. Now, this protocol will always make sure there is connection. Now, in this particular protocol, the first thing it checks is, okay, let us divide all this 1 gigabyte into 11 MB. 11 MB. So I am sending it 11 MB. Am I making sense? Now, if before it sends the first MB, the first thing it checks is their connection. This man will send a message to this man. Hello, computer B. Are you there? Computer B will send what is called an acknowledgement. Yes, I am here. Oh, you are here. Now, I am about sending. I am sending 1 megabyte. Now, when this particular man sends a 1 megabyte, when he sends, bam. The next thing this particular computer waits for is an acknowledgement. When this one sends 1 megabyte, when this one receives it, the next thing this one does immediately is to send back an acknowledgement saying, I have received it. Due to that, now for each message sent by this sends back an acknowledgement. For that, a connection is what? Is maintained, is verified. Am I making sense? Now let's assume this man sends 1 MB to this man. And maybe due to one thing or another, this man sent an acknowledgement, but this man did not receive. Due to that, what we are talking about, that they both agree on what to do if there is something wrong in the network. Now, they must have agreed, okay, if after sending you a message, I did not receive an acknowledgement, I will resend for the second time. If I did not receive an acknowledgement, I will resend for the third time. If after the third time I did not receive an acknowledgement, I will terminate the connection. They must have agreed. Okay, let us do it that way. So it means if you don't receive an acknowledgement, that doesn't mean I am not online. It could be there is an error, maybe there is an interference in the connection. So the next thing is this one will now function based on that agreement and say, okay, I am sending it again. Where is your acknowledgement? He doesn't receive it again. For the third time, this one now sends the message. This now says, this is my acknowledgement. This man can now proceed to send another one. So for each time computer A sends to computer B, there is always an acknowledgement coming back to tell computer A, I have just received your message. Are we making sense? That is for what? A TCP IP connection. Now, a UDP, that's why I call a TCP IP a connection full protocol. It will make sure there is connection before data is being sent. Now, for a UDP protocol is used on the internet, okay? But a UDP doesn't care if there is connection between us. Like this, these two computers will be like these two computers, computer A, computer B. Oh, I want to send a 1 gigabyte message to you. Okay. The only thing I want is, let us just agree. Are you done receiving my messages? I don't need your acknowledgement while you are receiving, please. Just send. Okay? I'm just sending to you. I don't need any acknowledgement. So UDP is a connectionless protocol whereby it doesn't check if there exists any connection between them. And the reason for UDP is very useful. Okay? Why? You'll be like, what if there is loss of connection? Yes, there is always loss of connection. And most times it results in loss of messages. Okay, while using UDP, there is always loss of messages. But why is it so useful? Like, it is still being used. Now, when you are doing online streaming, like you are streaming video, like most of us when we do Facebook, I am in the kitchen, I am doing this, I am doing that, and so on and so forth. Facebook videos, you are doing live streaming. You are not expected to use TCP/IP because it will be lagging behind. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because for each video you send, it means for each 1 megabyte of video you send, and it is smaller than that. Let's say for each, for each byte of video you send, it means, doesn't mean every phone or every computer that is to receive that message must send back an acknowledgement saying, oh, I got it. Then it will be very, very slow. It means for I to get to the person you are sending it to. It means it might take like maybe 3 days for that person to just see your eye. So that's why they use UDP, because UDP will send the message as it comes. Okay, no need for acknowledgement. Am I making sense? So if you are doing video streaming, if you are playing online games and so on and so forth, they make use of what? UDP. Yeah. Now, another protocol is what we call the TCP. Now, the transmission control protocol is one of the core protocols of the Internet Protocol Suite. TCP is so central that the entire suite is often referred to as TCP. Now, whereas IP handles lower level transmission, I have been able to talk about TCP/IP. Okay, I've joined the two together, but I'll just read about it. Now, TCP operates at a higher level, concerned only with two-end system. For example, a web browser and a web server. Now, in particular, TCP provides reliable, orderly delivery of a system of bytes from one program to one computer to another program on a computer. So those are the things I was talking about, that it makes sure there is what? There is a balance of what? Of network. Now, besides the web, other communication applications of TCP includes email and file transfer. Among its management tasks, TCP controls message size, the rate at which messages are exchanged, and network traffic congestion. TCP is used extensively by many of the Internet's most popular application protocols and resulting applications, including the World Wide Web, email, file transfer protocol, secure shell, and some streaming media applications. Okay? Now, however, because TCP is optimized for accurate delivery, listen to that. I told you that TCP is like a proud protocol. It is optimized for what? Accurate delivery rather than timely delivery. Like this. This one wants to be timely, while TCP wants to be what? Accurate. Now, TCP sometimes incur relatively long delays in order of seconds while waiting for out of order message or transmission of lost message, and it is not particularly suitable for real-time applications such as voice over IP. That was the example I was giving you. It is not suitable for what? For real-time applications. You know what's called voice over IP? Have you ever made an internet phone call? You've called someone, you connect to your laptop, you connect to the internet, and you dial someone's phone number, and the person, you were able to talk to the person. That's why we call it voice over internet protocol. That's voice over IP. You see VoIP on the internet. Have you ever seen this thing before? VoIP. It means voice over IP. Voice over the internet.